Welcome to super duper exciting edition of Inside Media Weekly. Wow, we're caught off guard. I'm Ryan Boni. I'm here joined by Kevin Bastos.
Mrs. Frick said we're not supposed to talk today.
Oh, okay.
No talking on the floor.
No talking.
I would like to welcome our special guest of the show, Kelsey Sylvester.
Yeah!
Right. Come on out whenever you're ready, Miss
Not
Lester.
here. She's working her way out here, I think. Justin Pinto is here. We're going to have a much more exciting and successful show than the Goldfinch, hopefully. So before we get to the Goldfinch.
I don't know. It's going to take us a long time to gross $2.5 million.
Hey, look, there's a sea otter.
Now, you said 2.5 million. It is a sea otters. Oh.
There's two of them.
And it's leaving.
And she's jumping in. She's had enough.
How?
And
See ya.
gone.
Well,
Well, that's the excitement for the show. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Inside Media Weekly. So, let's talk about this past weekend, shall we? In movies.
Mine was okay. Oh, in movies. Oh.
And movies, sure, why not?
Mine was, yeah.
Sarah watched Jaws again and Jaws 2.
I'm trying to remember
My
Jaws 2.
12-year-old was obsessed with them.
What happens in Jaws 2?
Jaws 2 is the one where
The shark comes.
Yes.
Isn't the mayor still in charge of the town, too?
Yes.
And it's like, guys.
Did you see that meme a few
Yeah, it's
years
like,
ago? How bad is local politics? The mayor from Jaws is still the mayor in Jaws 2.
Correct. I did see that.
I love that.
And how's she enjoying the
Loves it.
Jaws
I think she's watched them 10 times. She's now begging to go to Universal in Hollywood to ride the Jaws
That's
ride.
fantastic.
She loves it. So that's my weekend.
Now,
in
is she
movies.
branching out into other shark-oriented
Nope.
movies?
Jaws
Okay.
2. She made
Jaws in 3D.
She watched most of Jaws 3D and then was like, "This is terrible. I'm not watching it." I said, "You really should make it to the end, so you have the right to make fun of it." So she went back to it and finished it up.
Okay.
She likes Jaws 4 better than Jaws 3, but not by a lot. She's watched them all.
That sentence has never been uttered by another human being.
No. They're both pretty awful.
Well,
There's no real win or lose here. It's like your episode 1, episode 2 argument. Some people hate episode 1 more, and some people hate episode 2 more, but there's still a mutual respect around there for the haters.
Jaws: The Revenge. Wow, it was 1987. I didn't
And Michael
realize
Caine's
this.
in that one.
That's fantastic.
That's for
We need to really spice up Jaws 4. Can we get Michael Caine? Let's see if he's busy. Can we get him? Okay, perfect.
done.
This will
We're
be
in.
so much better than Jaws 3.
Now we're sadly talking about Jaws 4 and 3 instead of Goldfinch, which was almost as big a
Well,
disaster.
so by the way, Jaws: The Revenge on Rotten Tomatoes, 0% on the tomato meter
0%?
with a 15% audience score. So
I heard one was 15 and one was like 11. The Revenge was what is the other? Jaws 3.
Jaws 3D.
I think that's 11 or 12 as audience score. That one has Dennis Quaid in it.
To be honest,
And-
I didn't see 3 or 4.
Oh,
I'm not contributing to the
No,
bad
you're-
cover.
you were-
I haven't seen it. How can I tell you how bad it is?
yeah,
Speaking of bad,
we're already off of it.
sorry, no, go ahead. I want to hear more about Jaws. We should make this a
SeaWorld
Jaws
is actually
show.
featured in Jaws 3, Jaws 3D, and it's terrible special effects. Just awful. Because it was
Shocker.
3D that 2
Wasn't
years
very-
in the 1980s where you had the one blue lens and the one red lens, and it was like, oh, it's 3D, but it just was bad.
So now, I mean, are you going to introduce her to Sharknado? Is that going to be
She's watched
okay?
Sharknadoes.
Good. All of them.
I don't think
What
she
is there,
watched the
3 of them?
5th one.
Or 7?
I think it's 5, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't think she watched the 5th
Fantastic.
one.
So speaking of bad, so as we look at the this past weekend, where's the Goldfinch? I'm looking. I don't see. It's not in the
whoops.
top 5. Oh wait, no, there it is. So
8.
$2.6 million in 2,500 theaters.
It's pretty bad.
2,542. 6th worst wide opening since they started counting the box office.
Now, I'm looking on the list, and there is a real film below it called The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to get. It's getting rave reviews. They keep putting it in more theaters.
It has it did 180.
Wow,
Extra
increased by
theaters.
180. There's 1,500 real movie theaters playing The Peanut Butter Falcon.
I kind of want to see that more than anything right now. I've seen it on here.
I have to say, outside of It Chapter 2 and The Lion King, okay, which is a holdover.
But I mean, I don't want to see
Well,
it,
Fast
and
and
I've already
Furious,
seen Lion
okay.
King. I know what happens. The Peanut Butter Falcon, I have no idea.
All new to me.
Yes.
What are the ratings for The Peanut Butter Falcon?
Oops.
Well, can we talk about something? It's called the Peanut
Yes.
Butter Falcon. It's in its 6th week in release,
Good gravy.
and it almost beat Goldfinch.
wow.
And it's $45 million budget for the Goldfinch.
What was the budget for Peanut Butter Falcon?
So
Yeah.
Peanut Butter Falcon, by the way,
made $15 million.
95% on the tomato meter, 96% audience score.
Gravy.
It is a feel good adventure. Now,
I'm trying to imagine going in and pitching that. Guys, here it is. Like, who's the Warner? No, Rat. Rat. What is this? Studio
Rat.
Rat.
Well, you can see they probably got told no a couple times.
Oh yeah. When
Shia LaBeouf is kind of not.
is Shia LaBeouf
is
in the
not
Peanut
really
Butter Falcon?
Bringing, he's kind of.
I have no. Let me be honest. I have no idea who's in it or what it's about. I just want to see it.
I think
There's a sailboat on the poster, I believe.
I want to
there's a
say
sailboat.
to another human, I would like one ticket for the Peanut Butter
Shia LaBeouf
Falcon.
and Dakota Johnson is in it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, Dakota Johnson.
Zach runs away from his care home to make his dream of becoming a wrestler come true.
And there's a sailboat on the poster. That's all I know because I clicked
Yeah.
on it before. There's a sailboat.
The sweetest darn film of the decade. So
Does he actually use
says.
darn?
Yeah, it says darn.
Right.
It's, I can't see. It's real small. It's some not
gotcha.
not real.
JoeBlow.com.
Den of Geek does say a genuine delight. So
JoeBlow.com is my favorite bad reviewer. They love everything. Everything.
Hey,
well,
got to get traffic somehow. You only make money if people come to the website.
and the Goldfinch is little like kid art museum.
It's a book.
Mom dies, gets killed, and he carries
feel
around a
good movie.
painting. So I thought this is a great family film.
No, I don't think it's. Is it? No. What? The Peanut Butter Falcon, I think, is a feel-good movie.
Yeah,
It
let's go
is.
see the one about the kid
It
who
is.
dies and then lives in an art museum. Sorry, the mom who dies. And
Mom
the kid
dies,
lives in
and
an art
then
museum.
it fast forwards later. And it's like, so, and I was curious.
I believe Mrs. Frick said it was a good book.
She did. Books
Well,
are
and it
different
was-
than movies.
it was-
That
a
is-
Pulitzer-
yes, the last time I checked. they are.
Pulitzer
Different
Prize
places.
winning book. And I was trying to figure out what's going on. So I went and was looking at the reviews to see, okay, what's the problem here? Audience reviews are pretty decent, but the critics are. It seems like they're split. Some of them say it's way too faithful to the book, like literally pulling things out of the book and dropping them in, and others say it veered too much from the book. So I'm
Like
like,
to do both. Impressive.
so then I was like, well, okay,
Yes.
let's go back to
managed to
the.
make no one happy.
So I went back to the book reviews prior to the movie coming out and saying, what's the deal with the book? And the book, they say it's very realistic, beautifully
Cinematic.
described. However, the writing is really long and meandering and long-winded, and people said it's a real chore to try to get through this book. So obviously they've moved that now
I've
into
got an
the.
idea for a movie. There's a book. It's tough to get through. It's tough.
It's like,
There's
I
some
wanna
happy,
make a movie.
happy
1,000 pages
stories.
long.
I want to make a movie about it.
yes.
And I want to try to keep it just enough like the book, but not enough that everyone's going to be happy and everyone's going to hate
Is
it.
there something miserable like parents dying in it? Because I think
I
that's
just
a winner.
I just don't understand. These were, I mean,
And who was it? Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers were like, "We're in. To heck with this Peanut Butter Falcon thing I've been hearing about."
I mean, I have not read the book. I've not seen the movie. I will not see the movie.
Well, you and 99.9% of America has not
I
seen
mean,
this
I,
movie yet.
so, but
The talk is that Roger Deakins is the cinematographer on the movie, that it's beautifully shot, but
Goldfinch.
everything else is. And the acting, they're saying the acting's decent, so I don't know. I think maybe it's just a depressing.
this kind of poor box office performance
I'm thinking this
can only lead us one place. Oscar
best
nomination.
picture nomination. I was going to say.
It's only going to go one place. Now the critics are going to pick up
Best
on this.
cinematographer.
Now it's we'll have to review this later. Check the archives.
So when you open to 5 million, most weeks after it's 50%, 50%, 50%, which is going to take us to a $5 million gross total on a $45 million budget. I'm thinking this is not going to, and this is yet another major defeat for Warner Brothers. They've been struggling a lot lately. Although in the good news, Hustlers had a huge opening, 33 million. Not quite enough to take down It Chapter 2.
Yeah, well, Warner Brothers kind of had the first one. Some good news. It. Chapter
Good
2.
news. Yeah.
Not tracking as well as the first It, though.
No, I heard it's worse too.
I find it odd that if you saw half the movie, I mean, I guess you could have gone to see it thinking you'd be, and then you're like,
And you didn't like it.
and then I ate it,
or
so
you're
I'm not
just
going
like,
to see the second
we'll
one.
wait until the other one. Or you saw the original one and know that the second half is kind of a disappointment compared to the first.
I cannot claim any of that, but yeah, I have not seen
Did you see the first?
the first It movie with Tim Curry. I want to.
No, the,
The first this
first
It?
part, yeah.
No, I'm not a big horror
It was
movie
good.
person.
I remember that.
Yeah, so
So worst wide openings. You wanted to see the list. So
of course.
this is saturated. This would be 2,500 theaters or more from 1982 to present. Is number 6 on the list. Friend Request was number 1.
The Rocker. There's a lot of movies I've never heard of. Hoot.
And they're all-
Oh, I saw Hoot.
and they're all from like 2015 and like 12, 17, 18.
No, the problem is we put out like 83 movies in a month.
I was looking at the list. There's a surprising number of movies.
Mm-hmm.
A surprising, not as many. I remember 100 million used to be a huge deal. Like if you grossed $100 million, you know, the list was short compared to what it is now. Now there's not been that many movies that made $100 million this year. I don't like.
Outside of your big jumps.
Yeah, I mean, there's huge movies, but then there's like, you know, like globally, Wandering Earth is like the 7th biggest movie of the year, and it did like $699 million overseas and did like $5,000 in the States. You know,
Here's our 2019 total gross U.S. domestic.
It's a pretty precipitous drop.
I mean, you got some real big ones, but then look, you go from 355 all the way down to 175. Like there's nothing that's grossed 200 million, or just stayed in the 200s.
That's true.
Just like 500 million is like the
But
most
some of those
rare
budgets
box
on
offices.
there, like you figure John Wick 3 Parabellum, outside of paying off Keanu, you don't have a big budget there.
I think it had a decent budget.
I mean,
Hobbs and Shaw was like a $160 million budget or something like that.
yeah, that's not a good return.
Well, globally, it's over like it's made a lot of money globally, like 700 million globally.
Oh, okay then.
It's got like 500 million.
Shut me up. I know Shazam was a disappointment, and it's 140.
And How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World.
I did not see it.
And let's not forget Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
I do like the top 6 movies are all like Disney related.
Oh, of course. Disney's owning everything. They buy the stuff that's good. It's not Disney related. That's Disney.
Well, Spider-Man, Far
Okay,
From
Spider-Man
Home.
is.
They are connected.
They still own that.
They are connected somewhat.
That lease
It is
out there,
technically a
that's ours.
Sony release. But
So I want to ask you. Oh, I just hit the wrong button. So, speaking of bad, good. So,
I don't know why.
the OA just got canceled unexpectedly. I just saw too that
The OA?
Melissa,
Is that what you said?
yeah,
I've heard of it. I never saw it.
Yeah.
I heard it got canceled.
and big backlash, and then No Good Nick, Melissa Joan Hart and Sean Astin's series just got canceled. Just got the axe today or whatever. What I think is interesting, I was curious of your thoughts. You know, in the olden days, the show got canceled like at the end of the year or even mid-season. People might yell, but there was no recourse. Now, people voice their concerns immediately, and supposedly there's an organized campaign for people to drop Netflix because of this cancellation of the OA. And they were also saying they were adding a number of others that have been canceled. That they're so upset. Let's say One Day at a Time. There was one of them. So I don't know. What do you think that means for the business? You know, that people can instantaneously now kind of respond to.
Bad news and just cut. Yeah, because cable, you probably have a contract that you can't cut right away without paying them off. But
I think this Netflix model, especially now that it's getting some real competitors, not that it's in trouble necessarily, but their model is, does the show gain interest? Do we gain traction? Do we show an uptick? Are there people coming? And if there aren't, get rid of it. I mean, why am I spending millions of dollars on a show if it doesn't even come close to giving me that return? If they're looking at, here's how many people are watching the show, not that many. Here's how many people are jumping. Here's how much are subscriptions going up. Oh, not that many. I mean, if it makes them money, they're going to keep doing it. But what's the longest running show now on Netflix? I think couple made, like House of Cards made it to 7, barely. Sort of
Orange is
limped
the New
over that
Black
edge.
is in the last season, I think.
But is it 6 or
6.
8?
It's
I don't know.
6. I don't think it's longer than House of Cards. House of Cards made it to 7.
7. It made a 7th season, which was shortened but it did make 7 seasons. And in fact, they announced the 7th season, and then Spacey's controversy with everything, and they were like, oh, we got to rewrite this and do something else, and put this flop of a season out. The last one was disappointing. It wasn't bad, but disappointing.
I haven't watched. I used to really like watching, and then I got behind and have not gone back. I need to finish it.
Make to the 6th one. 7th one is kind of a disaster, but like I just started watching Marvel on Netflix just because I'm worried that it's going to go. I didn't even make it. I made it into Jessica Jones season 1 and then stopped. So that's how far behind I am.
Yeah, I don't watch them all. I like Daredevil.
Daredevil's great. Really, really well acted. D'Onofrio is...
By the way, Gracie and Frankie is the longest running Netflix series.
How many?
It was in 7 seasons.
Was it only 6 then for House of Cards? Or is it they call it 6.5?
Yeah, I can't
great
imagine
show where they look up things on the internet.
I can't imagine. Like you said, Netflix is in the business of making money. So if these shows are making money,
Yeah, it's a tricky set for them because they've got to increase their subscriber total by having these things on and watching how many people are watching the show. And if nobody's in, why am I going to keep paying all these people who want more money? Cancel it.
you're right, and they don't release any numbers, so you never know who.
No, it's all theirs. Their data, their everything, so they don't care. My guess is Netflix is still the highest subscriber, but their growth is off. They can't keep accelerating that.
Well, you just can't keep accelerating. You can't. I mean, I know every business model is we got to get more, we got to get more, we got to get more.
The business model, if it's got public owners, the expectation is you profit.
At some point,
profit.
At some point, you hit a plateau, and
yes,
everybody who wants it gets it, and
True.
You're going to lose subscribers, and you're going to pick up younger people who are finally getting it or not.
You've got to grow that. I mean, that's the business model. Restaurants, cars, everything. You got to build your level. Either you're increasing the cost, or you buy other profitable things, or expand to somewhere else. Like Netflix's brilliant idea, 10 years ago or whatever, after DVDs were on was to come out with this, put it together, and now DVDs are essentially gone, and this replaced it. And I don't think they've had a next level yet.
Well, they started doing their original shows.
That was almost at the beginning. That was, I want to say, a couple months in to maybe a year into that streaming stuff where they started producing, and then those proved to be really successful, made a lot of money, a lot of awards, accelerated that, and now nothing's changed for them for a while.
Well, I think you get to a point where everybody who wants it has it.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? But and like you said, I know the business model is, well, we got to do something bigger and better, but like, at some point, I mean,
networks like look at NBC. NBC isn't NBC; it's NBC Universal Comcast. So there's a whole other set of businesses in there owning stuff, and it's GE owning it, and it's Disney owning it, and all of these places have their fingers in other pies that they've grown bigger. I mean, how much are cannibalized into something else? And like anything else, like I think pizza is a wonderful example, because pizza becomes this chain expansion of everything where, Domino's and Pizza Hut and all those things, then people will start realizing this pizza's kind of terrible and stop buying it. And now you're seeing a resurgence of the little guy.
Do they have delivery insurance?
This break brought to you
At least
by...
Domino's pizza isn't terrible. Like, Little Caesar's pizza is terrible.
Well, it's also like $4.99.
True.
I mean, you're going in for a price point. You're not going in because it's like
it's value.
Best pizza in the town, Little Caesars, hands down. I'm sure somebody's favorite pizza is Little Caesars, but
that person's broken.
So Frankie and Gracie, I have to think of the name. Grace and Frankie, I just messed it up. 7 seasons.
Never heard of this show.
That's the Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin and what is the other woman?
Yes.
No, I know who Lily Tomlin
Jane Fonda,
is.
right?
Jane Fonda.
No, I've heard of those two women.
Sitcom. So they consider it. So from a drama standpoint, Orange is the New Black.
It's sort of a dramedy.
Is 7 seasons. House of Cards was 6.
Okay.
But Orange is the New Black is 91 episodes. House of Cards 73.
7 times 13.
Fuller House.
Yeah, that just got canceled too.
So
what will they be showing?
they're gonna have to have a whole bunch of new stuff.
They got a whole bunch of old stuff still.
Yeah, but with everybody going like with Disney, slowly probably pulling their stuff off. And they do have agreements that some movies are going to premiere on Netflix and then will come back around later. But like NBC or whoever it is, pulling Friends and pulling The Office, canceling your own original shows. Like
I heard one of them got settled in their favor and one didn't. Like one was extended 4 or 5 years and one didn't.
I don't know.
But those are the big ones on there.
Well, that's you get the people who just want to like. It is nice to be able to just go watch it. Like I'm rewatching Breaking Bad, and it's nice that it's on Netflix. I can just watch it. AMC though has their own thing, don't they? AMC has their own streaming network where you can watch episodes 2 days early or something like that. It's
buying in for early.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
So is it not going to be on TV on Sunday?
It will. But it will have commercials, and I'm sure they'll put
fast forward DVR. One of the great. Air conditioning and DVR.
I know.
Two great
I'm
inventions.
I'm with you.
Not the wheel, not sliced bread. So
Sliced bread. I mean, come
Disney.
on.
We figured it out ourselves. Yeah. Disney Plus. So I did want to ask, along the same lines. So Netflix has been bleeding money for a number of years with its shows. It's just, it's had great subscriber growth, but not,
like
enough
Amazon.
to oversee. Yeah. But so Disney Plus is coming out as the countdown says 56 days. That can't be right. Is it right? Yeah, I guess it is right. Wow.
Still pretty. We're in mid-September.
They've been slowly starting to announce this stuff, but one of the big things that I think is interesting with that Disney Plus is going to do, they're going to follow more the Hulu model, which is release a couple episodes and then release one a week for seasons. I think one of the things that has been killing Netflix has been the let's release it all, which is great. This whole idea of binging is great, but what happens is people are signing up for a month, watching all the episodes, and then canceling. Whereas if they release it over a week or multiple weeks, keep people longer, but also there's a build-up. Obviously, lots of people point to Game of Thrones and all of the build-up that was around it constantly, week after week after week, until its conclusion. Do you think we're going to see the end of this whole a season dropped at a time kind of mentality that Netflix has? Is it smarter to go week to week and build?
I like week to week because then I don't have to carve out like an hour.
I like binging because I can choose something, especially with teaching in the summer. Let's watch this.
Yeah, but if you're waiting till the summer, if it came out all year, it's going to be there for you.
No, but it's like anything else. Like right now, I'm watching the Marvel stuff, and I know I'm watching it because there's a deadline, there's a cancellation, there's an over, there's a last episode. So I can sit and start at the beginning and just go till the end, and now I'm done.
I would like to be able to delete my Netflix watch history. So because I'm rewatching Breaking Bad. But they all say I've watched them all. So I go back, I'm like, well, am I on season 2, episode 3 or 4? So I have to read the synopsis to try. You know what I mean? It just doesn't pick up right where I was at.
Mine does.
I don't see. I have it's through my Comcast box, and it doesn't take you right to.
I wonder if you created a new user profile.
No, mine does it. I just go to Netflix. I don't go to the Comcast box. I click on Netflix, go in, and then Netflix brings it up and says, "Continue watching." Sure.
It does it for one show I watch. It doesn't do it for Breaking Bad.
I don't know why, because Daredevil is certainly doing it.
Maybe
Continue watching.
You know what? I think the problem is I do say Breaking Bad into the remote. I got Netflix the remote.
Netflix. There you go.
Problems. See, now we have really accomplished something today.
Netflix.
This is
and
amazing.
Then you can continue watching right there. It's the first thing. Love it.
So
my problem is my 19-year-old kid watches her garbage on mine. It's
what?
Like,
doesn't have a
we
profile?
saw you watch this. She does,
Yeah.
but the profile was set up for a kid, so she just logs into mine because
Yeah.
she's an adult now. And I'm like, quit logging into mine. Sorry, there was something I wanted to watch.
Can't you just change? Can't you update a profile?
Yeah, but she's already established this whole history on mine now, so she doesn't want. I'm like, oh boy. So,
speaking of history, Disney Plus is planning a solo spin-off movie instead of a true sequel.
Solo.
I like
spin-off
Solo.
movie.
The more I've watched it, the more I like it.
I've only watched it twice, but I did not hate it.
I do not like the beginning. It's a little hokey. But once they get Chewbacca and they get the gang together, it's great.
It's fun.
I like it better than
movie.
1 and 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's no. I mean,
Better than Phantom Menace.
yeah. I have not watched any of those. I gotta watch them all again. I gotta give them another. I gotta just.
What, episodes 1, 2, and 3?
I just gotta watch all of them. Everything.
Oh,
1,
it's
2, 3,
painful.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I gotta get
You
ready.
need to have like a meal in front of you or something. Something that'll distract you. Grading papers. Or else you start watching it and you realize really how bad it is.
It's okay. I'm okay with realizing that.
Ugh, it's bad.
My only problem with Solo is that there's all these scenes of danger and there's no threat of danger because we know that Chewbacca and Solo are going to live into the.
But if they introduced another character like Miles, and be like, well, Miles is going.
Yeah,
Miles, save us!
put him in a red shirt and then we good to go. By the way, just wanted to let you know, Terminator Dark Fate, they never wanted to de-age the T-800 with a digital Arnold. They So Terminator Dark Fate's coming out and Arnold is, and Linda Hamilton both are, of course she's not a Terminator, but,
Yeah,
but
Or
has not aged.
wouldn't that be
Unlike this whole thing with Blade Runner or replicants don't age,
Is James Cameron not involved with this? I mean,
I'm sure he's getting some pace on
Yeah,
that, isn't he?
that sort of ended badly between the two of them. It wasn't like a pleasant split there.
I think he's I think he is back as a producer for it. Maybe executive producer.
Yeah, the executive producers, they're just over at
Well, I know,
office
they're
somewhere
just putting
paying
their name on
people. That's no big deal. Like
So
the
we're
director's
almost-
like, and now Linda, and she'd be like, oh, just like when you said to me.
We are almost out of time. I did want to real quickly talk about this James Gunn, of course, who got fired and now is
What is this?
part of Suicide Squad. He listed a cast of Suicide Squad, a cast list, but although he does say don't get too attached to these people. So obviously there's going to be
a lot of people.
some deaths, but the first official confirmation that Margot Robbie is coming back is Harley Quinn, and there's a huge cast list in here.
Peter Capaldi, Doctor Who.
There are people noticeably absent from the list. Will Smith is one noticeable
Yes.
absence. He was one of the, I wouldn't even call it a bright shining star, maybe a highlight of the first film.
Nathan.
He is not there.
Pete Davidson.
Well, remember,
That's all.
a lot of people agree to appear in films. Like, think about
Michael Rooker.
X-Force in the Deadpool film. How many characters were there for like 3 minutes of screen time and
It's
did
Deadpool 1
not
or
make
2.
it? What?
Deadpool 1 or 2.
Deadpool 2.
I haven't seen it.
There's actually
There's
some
two
work to
versions you
do.
can choose from. Deadpool 2 is pretty good.
I want to see it. It's just
It's not as good as the first one, but it's pretty
when
good.
are the sequels?
What do you mean, when are they?
When are they as good as the original? How often? Not very.
Sometimes depends.
All right, Empire Strikes Back.
3%?
We're gonna have a
5%?
discussion next show
Empire.
about that.
Oh, let's do the sequel show.
It's a sequel show because there's also Cinema Blend did
Godfather.
a ranking
I'll
of
fight you on that
I
one.
don't think it's better, but it's good.
Yes.
real quick. This weekend we got 3 big movies coming out. This is gonna be a big battle. Ad Astra's coming out, which we
that doesn't
just
strike me
watched
as-
the trailer again.
Doesn't
It
strike me as
looks pretty
big.
good. Brad Pitt's gonna bring him in, right? Downton Abbey, of course, and Rambo: Last Blood.
I'm saying Downton Abbey.
3 films that will not make people happy. Disappoint across the board.
I think Ad Astra could be interesting. I don't know.
It doesn't look good.
You got any predictions?
I say Downton Abbey.
Number 1, or do you think it
Yeah,
chapter
Downton
2?
Abbey's my prediction.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm going Ad Astra. I'm going out of
Oh, okay.
a limb. We'll check next time to find out who is correct on the next edition of Inside Media Weekly. Thanks for joining us.